So lately I've been seeing all these videos popping up on my YouTube feed about how I used aim labs for a month and now I'm a human aimbot. And some of them, I can believe it. Some of them, not so much. I wanted to see how well it actually worked. So of course, I used aim labs for 1 hour a day for 1 month. It was actually closer to 3.5 weeks, but we'll just say 1 month. And I wanted to show you guys the results. Now, this training was very unstructured. I didn't really have any idea of what I was doing. I was kind of just using GridShot for most of it, as well as some tracking stuff, but I'm focusing on GridShot for this video. Starting today, I'm going to be using Aimer7's daily routines, and I'll be sure to make a video on that, and if you guys want some updates on how that's going, let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to do that for you. But without further ado, I want to show you guys the results of 1 month of 1 hour a day aim labs training and how it translates to my Valorant aim. Let's go. Unfortunately, I do not have any of my day 1 footage, however I do have footage from day 2. As you can see, I placed in Ruby 2, did not change on the first day, I promise. This is actually a little bit above average. I kind of expected to be placed higher than that. I thought I was a little bit more above average than that, however, I've been proven wrong, and that just means that I have a lot more to work on, which is fine by me because this is what it's all about. I am focusing on GridShot for this video, as I believe that it shows off your click time aiming the best with aim labs. Which is what's most useful in my opinion for Valorant. One more thing I'd like to add is that I also ended up changing my mouse and keyboard around quite a few times during this session. It's not good for training, but I was really focused on finding what best fit me, and I think I ended up doing that with the Viper Mini. But as you can see, my first runs are pretty slow. I'm missing a lot of my flicks. I'm not using great click timing. There's no rhythm to it. I'm just kind of going for whatever I can get. I think I ended up getting a 72-ish on this run. 72,000, that is. Which is not terrible. Not terrible. But, of course, we're looking for big gains here. So that just means that there's lots of room for improvement. One more thing, I also change up quite a few of the aim lab settings. I also recommend doing this, turning off HUD, turning off some of the braking animation, stuff like that. This is the next run that I have recorded. I believe this is day 1 of week 2. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit faster. My flicks are definitely much more accurate, and I'm able to keep some sort of semblance of a rhythm going as I'm clicking these orbs. Definitely an improvement over week 1 for sure. This clip is towards the end of week 2, which is where I started to see my most massive gains. As you can see, I'm much faster with my flicks, not making as much unnecessary movement. My mouse control is much better. There is much more of a semblance of a rhythm here as well. However, there is still much more improvements to be made, and they will come very soon. The end of week 2 and the beginning of week 3 is probably where I saw the most progress overall. This right here is my high score run from week 2. It's about a 79,000 point run, which is a massive improvement over the 70,000 point average that I had coming into week 2 from week 1. So as I said earlier, I lost a lot of the footage, especially mostly from week 3 because Shadowplay sucks, don't at me. I don't have any of my high score runs from week 3. You'll have to take my word that my highest was a 90,000. I am going to blame that on RNG though, because my next highest was an 87 and I was never able to get above that again. However, as you can see on screen now, these are my averages kind of leaving week 3. This is, I don't know, 2 days I think before the final day. Before today, rather. Now I have an average of about 80,000, with my max being 87 and my floor being 70. My time to kill has dropped significantly, now averaging around 249, and my kills per second are now hovering around 4. So here we are on the final day. While I was recording this, I actually went back in and did a session, and, well, this. What? Oh my fucking god. So, that leaves us with one thing. What did I learn? Well, quite a bit, actually. Aim trainers do help. Not very much if it's unstructured. I'm sure that I could have gotten a lot more out of this time if I had actually thought ahead and planned out what I needed to do. However, there was improvements, and I'm satisfied with the results. There were also a lot of tricks that I learned. I do have ADHD, so some of them will be kind of dependent, and of course these aren't going to work for everybody, and they aren't going to work for everyone with ADHD specifically either. But, for instance, one of the tricks that I noticed was if I didn't consciously think about the task at hand, and just let my brain run on autopilot, rely on pure muscle memory, I performed way better than I did when I was actually focusing on the task, like super hard, because I would overthink things. I would overcomplicate it in my head, I'd miss a shot, and all of a sudden it'd snowball into me missing 5 shots in a row, and I'd be double-clicking a pixel off the target, and it was just not a fun time. I also noticed that exercise is huge. Every single day that I exercised in the morning, I saw a new high score, or I saw a relatively large gain in my average score. So exercise really does help you perform better. I believe it increases your reaction time, and I'm sure it helps build muscle memory as well. So with that all being said, I'm now going to start training every day for a month with Aimer 7's daily routines. And I will be sure to make a video on that in a month. Let me know if you guys want to see some updates as I do it. I would be happy to. I did stream some of my journey on Aim Labs on Twitch, and I will be streaming some of my Kovacs journey as well. So if you want to see any of that, my Twitch will be in the description below. But with that all out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and I will see you all in the next one.